One of the things that makes West Hawaii a lot different than East Hawaii is active lava zones. So before Amber jumps completely into the statistics, let's talk about a little bit about that, because I think people sometimes don't know what they're getting themselves into when they hear lava zone 1 and 2, and why is the land so cheap when they see that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Lava zones are really applicable in East Hawaii. I mean, lava zones are on the whole island. So if you're new to Hawaii, if you move to the Big Island, you're going to be in a lava zone, no matter where you live. We have 9 lava zones, 1 through 9, with 1 being the most risky, right? And 9 being the least risky. But it really affects us in East Hawaii. And it is something to always keep in mind too when we talk about statistics, because I think it can kind of skew the statistics a little bit, because there really is a difference in value based on lava zones. So let's get into like how the lava zones kind of affect a real estate buyer and seller, really, but buyers in particular. And this is good information even if you're a local on Big Island and you know about lava zones, but maybe you don't know how they affect real estate purchases, right? So it's really applicable to everybody. But in East Hawaii, especially in the Puna district, which is, there's a lot of inventory in Puna compared to other parts of the island. It's still low inventory, but there's a lot of homes for sale. You see a lot of property in lava zones 1 and 2. So those are the 2 zones that you really want to pay attention to, because the lava hazard can affect your ability to, number 1, get financing.
Right.
That might not even be an option for you. It's really particular to the situation and to whether you're in zone 1 or zone 2 and what kind of loan and how much cash you have and the property itself. So there's a lot of, nuances for if you can buy or not. But most of lava zone 1, I would say, is like an all cash kind of purchase.
Right. Because that is a space that might really be mowed down by lava, maybe in the home buyer's lifetime.
Yeah, and will be. But maybe not. But maybe in the home buyer's lifetime, maybe not for a very, very long time. None of us know. And if anybody tells you that they know, they don't know. So none of us know, but lava zone 1 is basically, and just a disclaimer, I'm not a volcanologist or anything. So, I get my information from Volcano National Park and just being a resident here and being a realtor. But it's basically located right on the rift zone of the volcano. So Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes. If you didn't know that, it's one of the volcanoes that makes up the Big Island. And there's neighborhoods right on the rift zone of the volcano. So, for example, in 2018, if you lived here, you knew about this. If you didn't live here, you might have seen it on the news. If not, Google it. But Kilauea erupted right in the middle of a neighborhood called Leilani Estates. And that neighborhood was built on the rift zone. So lava zone 1 and hundreds of homes were actually covered by lava. From Leilani down to Kapoho. Beautiful homes. And so that was a really challenging time for the community and, scary for a lot of people. And a lot of people who live in those lava zones actually don't have good homeowners insurance, because that's the other thing to talk about.
You can't get insurance, right?
It is very challenging. So in lava zone 1, there is a government-backed program, but you can only insure up to $350,000. That could change in the future. So if you're watching this on YouTube, someday, way later, that can change, especially based on what the volcano does and insurance companies choose to do. But only $350,000. So I've seen some properties in lava zone 1 that are, big retreat centers, over $1 million, beautiful estates. And you're really taking on a big risk, living in a big, beautiful house that you can't get insurance.
Right. And when people would ask me about this, they'd say, so the house is worth $250,000, but it's the only thing I can afford. I'm like, well, can you afford to lose $250,000? And they're like, well, I'm like, because that's basically what you're saying. By living in lava zone 1, you're basically taking the risk that you're going to lose everything.
Yeah, you could. You also...
So Brad was chiming in here as well. Sorry to interrupt your thought. Brad says, exactly, lava zone 1 is not if the lava will come, it's when the lava will come is the question.
Yep.
And Brad also chimes in, Leilani was right on the East Rift Zone.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then there was one also that got...
right.
And then right below Leilani, that got it too.
Yes, Kapoho.
That's that whole area. And also Kapoho had been basically also hit before that lump. Wasn't that already taken out in 20 whatever?
Yeah, if you look back, like you can Google this and look at the different eruptions over the different decades. But, Kilauea has been active,
35 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's been very active, so...
But longer than that.
Yeah,
There was
longer.
continuous eruption starting in 1983. But Halo crater has been going off since at least the 1920s because there's pictures of people sitting next to the fire pit of Halo up at Volcanoes National Park.
Yeah.
Since they had photography.
Yeah.
People there's drawings of it back in the 1800s or something too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been going on, right?
Yeah, it's been going on. And, if you're new to the Big Island, it might be really easy to not kind of grasp the concept of that is a very active volcano. So a lot of people will go down there and it will look so like lush and tropical and beautiful, and they're like, this is a beautiful place to live. And it is. That's why people live down there. It's also an affordable place to live, but you are living on the world's, one of the world's most active volcanoes, and it could erupt in your yard and
at any time.
At any time. And you can get insurance down there, by the way. I don't want to say you can't get insurance. But like I said, Lloyd's of London, $350,000 in Zone 1, but you're going to pay a lot of money for that insurance. And in Lava Zone 2, you're going to pay a lot of money for insurance as well. And that factors into, if you're getting a mortgage, like your monthly payment. And so those are things to consider. It's not always about the price of your home. It's sometimes about your monthly payments.
Right. And then also what people need to know, too, is that there are whole subdivisions that are like right on the edge of a lava zone. Mm-hmm. So, right? So if people were looking at HPP, what lava zone is that?
HPP, it's a really, really big subdivision, very popular in East Hawaii. That's Lava Zone 3. Okay. All of HPP.
Okay, all of it.
All of it.
And then right next to that.
So you have on the other side of the highway, you have Orchid Land Estates, which is pretty popular.
Okay.
About the farthest south that you can go, with still being in Lava Zone 3, is a neighborhood called Ainaloa, which is in Pahoa, but it is Lava Zone 3. So that neighborhood has really been up and coming, and it's like a really hot neighborhood right now.
Yeah,
and it's affordable.
Right, and people are putting up new homes there right now too, right?
So much new construction in Ainaloa. So that subdivision has gotten really, really popular. But you are right on the border there of Lava Zone 2. So then you get into neighborhoods like Nanavale Estates, which is Lava Zone 2, but it's right there by Leilani. So and by the geothermal plant down there, so it's just right on the border. If you look at a map, that looks very close to Lava Zone 1.
Right.
Very
and one of the things that Amber can do is, obviously she's a resource for you. She can actually provide Lava Zone maps for you.
Yeah.
And tell me that the Lava Zone maps actually, is there an overlay of the different neighborhood subdivisions on top of a Lava Zone map? So they can see the 2, 3,
Yeah, I can print that, and it might help too if people had a specific area, I could kind of zoom in and show them with the neighborhood and with that. Okay. Sometimes it's still just confusing for people though, and so if you're ever unsure about the Lava Zone, and you're on Zillow or something, there's a good chance you're probably not going to figure it out. Just reach out to an agent. You can reach out to me, and I can tell you. Definitely this is in Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever.
And will that sometimes show up in the MLS search? Like in the listing remarks, it'll say Lava Zone.
Yes, sometimes it will. Yeah. There are places that you can find it, but the average person who's not super familiar with real estate on some random, property search website probably won't notice it.
Okay.
Some people point it out in the description too.
Okay, in the description, yeah. So that's why we're talking about this, because if you see Lava Zone 1 or 2, just know there's probably a good reason that house looks like a screaming deal.
Yes, in general, in East Hawaii, this is a good thing to talk about. There's usually a good reason, even if it's not Lava Zone related, that something is a screaming deal. In life, really.
Yeah.
If something looks too good to be true,
it probably is.